But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard. And I can't. Look at me. I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. My husband is elderly, and last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move.
Whoa! 20,000 illegal Haitians have taken over Springfield, Ohio, a town with only 58,000 people. The leftist media says that's not happening, that's a conspiracy theory, but the residents of Springfield are speaking the truth into reality. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants and Satan, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters, because truth conquers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the border of a nation is like the immune system of our body. It keeps toxins and viruses at bay so the health of the body can remain intact. As you know, there's no question, our border is not only unsecure because we don't know what to do, it's being deliberately held wide open. Our borders might have something to say about that. More on her and her direct relation to the Haitian problem in just a minute. But first, the big topic at hand is dangerous Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. Now, we have seen the Venezuelan gangs take over apartment complexes in Colorado, and if you think that's just going to be an isolated incident, no, that's a movie trailer about what's to keep coming if we keep allowing it. By the way, how you vote in November might be determining whether we allow it or not. So Springfield, Ohio, a town with less than 60,000 people, approximately 58,000 to be exact. It's been flooded over the past couple years with 20,000 Haitians. So now a third of the population is Haitian. Now that's not to say, whoa, it's because they're black. Is that the problem, JP? I know I don't have to give disclaimers to you anymore. But no, that's not the problem. The problem is, first off, they're illegal. Second off, there's cultural differences. One of the big cultural differences is to properly assimilate into America, you need to behave in a civilized way. You might say, well, JP, that's just cultural differences. You need to be tolerant. Well, what is someone's cultural differences? Well, we kill people we don't like. We cut their heads off. We eat them. We kill your pets and eat them. Just like there's a cultural difference between a virus and the cell of your body. The cell of your body says, that's too much of a cultural difference, you're not welcome here. But if you behave in a civilized way and you assimilate into my body through due process, not breaking the laws, you're allowed in. Otherwise, you're not. That's what helps keep the health of the body, and the health of the body of America is in part law and order and secure border, and that's being compromised. By the way, side note, if you remember when President Trump was in office, the media gave him a lot of flack for what he said about Haiti. And to quote President Trump, he said, it's a shithole country. But what's become a massive problem in Springfield, we'll hear from the Springfield mayor and residents pleading with the Springfield City Council to do something in just a minute. But it's worth noting the leftist media saying, no, this isn't happening. The residents are claiming the Haitians are killing ducks in the park and eating them and killing their pets to eat them as a food supply. That's just a conspiracy theory. Yeah, they're saying that. As Charlie Kirk points out, the media's new narrative on Springfield, Ohio is that it is a conspiracy theory that any stories about migrants killing pets or beheading ducks at local parks are debunked. One such example, here's, you can tell she's a leftist on Twitter. I'll tell you why we know that in a second. Here's what she has to say. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene pushed the false accusations about Haitians eating pets during a special hearing today. Marjorie Taylor Greene in this video says this.
Can we add in that there's Haitian illegal migrants taking over towns, eating people's pets? Yeah. But yet there's not a government show of force against that. However, it is against these people that protested the election.
Well, so the Twitter user lists power. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene's pushing these false accusations about the Haitians eating pets. These are conspiracy theories. Well, you just go to her bio and you see who she's working for. Director of Media Intelligence at MMFA, whatever that means. Let's see what it means. Oh, Media Matters. And of course, their post pinned at the top is, just lies about Trump. So that's the leftist media saying, oh yeah, this is like a consequence of our wide open, cut open, kill the nation border policy. So we have to go into 1984 gaslighting and lies to try to cover this up for anybody who's dumb enough to fall for it. Have you been hearing about this new wave of COVID that's knocking people on their butts? Now, I've never been one to buy into the fear of COVID, but I will say this, I do not like getting sick, and it's not going to happen to me. Why? Because I am now stocked on both natural and prescription solutions. This is why I partner with a wellness company, because they offer preventative solutions that prevent you from feeling the full impact of the virus. And specifically, Peter McCullough's Spike Detox Trio protocol. Because life's too short to be sick, I take this every time I travel or hear about a new wave of... It's all natural and it's being used globally by many doctors. But if you happen to come down with the virus, their contagion emergency kit comes to the rescue. Medical board approved from freedom-fighting doctors who have been on the pulse of the pandemic since day one. It's a combo of medicines that were suppressed and hard to get from day one, but the wellness company has now made them readily available so you and your family have them exactly when you need them. And if you use any of the meds, you can replenish them without purchasing a whole new kit. This is called owning your health. Welcome to a new day and a new way. I highly recommend these products. I use them myself. To learn more, visit the link in my pinned comment and use code JPREACTS for 15% off both the Contagion Kit and the Spike Detox Trio, plus free shipping. Enjoy. Now back to the video. So you can believe the lying leftist media, or you can take a look and hear about the problems of the Haitian illegals from the Springfield, Ohio residents themselves. Here is one such resident at the Springfield City Commission meeting just a week or two back. Have a listen.
These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They flipping cars in the middle of the street. I don't know how, y'all can be comfortable with this. I don't know, who's getting paid from it. I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background. A bunch of people on a bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants because it's the people that's bringing them down here.
More on who's bringing them down there in just a second, but also it's worth noting the city of Springfield is paying the illegal immigrants, giving them $3,000 a month for housing as well as health care. So it's don't come, but if you do, we're going to reward you.
Wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them.
Now, I'm not against eating ducks, but I am against bringing people into a place where it's not legal for them to be in the first place. They didn't follow the due process of the law, where they have to kill park animals just to survive, as well as commit other crimes.
And eating them y'all get the Highway State Patrol down here every week, and then y'all get a task force for the Highway State Patrol, and they look for guns, and they look for dope, and this and that and the fourth. That same people that y'all got riding up and down Limestone doing U-turns, pulling people over for blinkers and pulling people over for going left to center and a couple miles over, y'all can take them same people, the Highway State Patrol, and you can take them in every single one of their silver Chargers and Dodge Durangos, and y'all can take them to Sunset, and y'all can park them right over there, and y'all can teach people how to drive, since the Highway State Patrol knows so much about traffic laws and know what to do in traffic.
I like how this guy not only came highlighting the problem, but he came with a solution. And the solution he's speaking of specifically in this instance, apparently there are so many car accidents going on in Springfield, Ohio, because the Haitians actually don't know how to drive, but they're driving. And there's reports of Springfield, Ohio residents complaining that their insurance, though they've never been in accidents, their insurance is escalating because of the amount of car wrecks the Haitians are creating. More from the residents in just a second, but first, let's hear from Vice President Hopeful J.D. Vance. He posts this on Twitter. Months ago, I raised the issue of Haitian illegal immigrants draining social services and generally causing chaos all over Springfield, Ohio. Reports now show that people have had their pets abducted and eaten by people who shouldn't be in this country. Whereas our borders are. Now that is a good question, JD Vance. Here is our borders are. Let's see what she has to say about the Haitians causing chaos in Springfield, Ohio.
Also, starting with our administration, we gave TPS, temporary protected status, to Haitian migrants, 55,000. And then more recently, we extended temporary protected status to over 100,000 Haitian migrants for that very reason, that they need support, they need protection.
Oh, okay, so there's our borders are. She is deliberately bringing the Haitians in, giving them TPS, which basically means you're here illegally and we want you here illegally. So here's a little label to justify why we're not going to do anything about it. That's what she's doing. She is literally bragging about causing the problem. But of course, typical 1984 fashion, she's making the perpetrators the victims. They need protection. And there's American citizens in Springfield, Ohio saying, who's going to protect us from the people that you are bringing in? And the answer is, no one's going to protect you. At least, not with this administration. Now let's hear more from the Springfield, Ohio resident that we opened this video up with.
He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally. I don't understand what you expect of us as citizens. I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status and you're protecting them, and I understand.
Protecting them from what? The law?
Our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed. But who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me? I want out of this town. I am sorry. Please give me a reason to stay.
I think seeing the desperation on her face is important because, again, this is a movie preview of everywhere if this continues. And more. Libs of TikTok posts this. A few months ago, the mayor and city manager of Springfield, Ohio, said their town will collapse and fail due to the Haitian migrant influx, and all their city resources are being overwhelmed. We'll hear from him in a second, but first some context. City resources being overwhelmed is one concern. One part of that is, well, they're giving these people money to be there and, welfare and hospitals, those kind of city resources. Not to mention the rental housing market is pricing Springfield residents out of it because the Haitians are being given $3,000 a month for housing, so they're able to pay more than actual Springfield residents who now can't afford rent due to escalating rent prices. So the city resources thing is one thing. The other thing is the crime and uncivilized behavior that Americans are being surrounded with. So let's hear from the mayor.
Ohio, and Brian Heck is the city manager, and they both join me now. Good morning to you both. Mayor Rue, tell us what's going on in Springfield.
Well, what we've seen is just such a quick increase of our population over the last 5 years. Like you said, up to 15 to 20,000 immigrants have come across and into our community. This has overwhelmed our safety services and caused great concern for our community.
Brian, you're the city manager. Tell us more and how this influx is impacting the city.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you for having us on this morning. When we see a 25% increase over a 3-year period, we're a community, we do not have the capacity to sustain that. And it's taxing our infrastructure. It's taxing public safety, it's taxing our schools, it's taxing healthcare, and as JD Vance spoke on, it's taxing our housing. We had a housing shortage well before this immigration crisis that's impacted our community, and this has just made it 100 times worse. And so it's setting communities like Springfield up to fail, and we do not have the capacity to sustain it. And without additional federal assistance or support, again, communities like Springfield will fail.
Communities like Springfield will fail. By the way, if you drive through Springfield or any other community and you see a Harris Waltz sign in the front yard, those are people who deserve this because they're literally voting for the people that brag about causing this. And the other alternative is to vote for the guys who recognize this as a major problem and have the deep desire to represent Americans to do something to stop this problem. But it's pretty much up to us, isn't it? With that said, my beautiful freedom-loving friend, thank you for watching this video about what is actually going on in America that the leftist media is telling us is not going on in America. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you in our next video. But until then, stay sovereign.